Aha! So this is a ticket that I've submitted on behalf of Mike Moser, which is a fictional user, and it says I am a knowledge worker and need help installing software from a shared drive. Now, this happens, people who are knowledge workers, people who are knowledge workers are allowed to do some things. This is why they're labeled as knowledge workers. They get different type of you typically they get different OS operating system with different permissions where they can do certain things. They don't necessarily have administrator privileges. They don't necessarily have administrator privileges to install any software. So they need help. There it says here, I'm a knowledge worker. I need help installing software from shared drive. Grammatically incorrect sentence from me. It should be from a shared drive. But either way, we know what the issue is here. So when it comes to knowledge workers, we can help them, and we need to help them because they don't have administrator privileges, right? Even as help desk, you may not have administrator privileges, just so you know. If you're like a tier 2 or tier 3, you may have administrator privileges. Or if you're on-site tech, you will have administrator privileges. But if you're tier 1, you may not have administrator privileges. So you got two options. You can send this ticket to tier 2, but I don't want you to do that because I'm going to assume that you have administrative privileges so we can talk about this. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose of me creating this. So since I've talked to Mike Moser many, many times in our training, he knows me, and we're going to talk to him on the phone. We're going to take control of his computer. So I'm going to reply to customer, and I'm going to say, may I, well, I'm going to say hello. Now, hello. May I take control of your computer so I can install software? Software needed. Sure. And, I'm a bit informal with Mike because, I've talked to him. He's kind of my buddy now at this point, fictional buddy. So instead of saying, hello, my name is Irvin. I have a ticket about this and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to say, may I take control of your computer so I can install software needed? Because at this point, I already know his, chances are, I already know his computer name, which is required to gain access to his computer, or his computer IP address. And I have other ways of taking control of his computer. Here's an example again, and I bring this up sometimes. Here's the type of software I can use to enter their host name, which is also known as a computer name, and or IP address. So if his IP address is 192.168.1.1, whatever it is, I can select connect and take control of his computer, or I can send him an invite to join a remote session, which he can click on like a link, and then that link will allow me to take full control of his computer. All right. So I'm talking to my buddy Mike to install software. Even if you're tier 2 or tier 3 or whatever, you still may need a permission to install software from a shared drive, because most of the time all the software is controlled by an automatic system that automatically installs everything on your computer. Everything that you see on your computer is installed automatically through some kind of a software management, desktop management software, that it's installed on your computer, and that software installs other software. So you just have one, think of it like an app on your phone that installs other apps on your phone. I know it kind of sounds silly, but that's what it is. So, and the way you do that is based off subscriptions. That means that Mike's computer will have specific software subscriptions. You know how you subscribe to something? A newsletter, a YouTube channel. By the way, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you might want to subscribe. So that way you get updates from my YouTube channel Same way, if Mike's computer is subscribed to a specific channel, meaning, and they literally call this channel, meaning channel for that software that he needs, then if he's not subscribed to it, he's not going to get this software that he wants. He's not going to get this software. So in this case, well, you would need approval to subscribe his computer to the software because there are licensing issues, right? He makes sure there's a license available for him. And this is a preferred way of installing. You can, sometimes knowledge workers use odd and not necessarily automatically installed software for which you would install manually with your administrator privileges. And the hint of it is that he wants it installed from a shared drive. So it's something that him and probably some people in his group are using. This can happen. And again, get a permission from your supervisor that you can install this software. And then when you get a permission, you install it. Most of the time, you will be able to install it. So here's an example of what happens. So I'm just going to execute this here. Here is an example of software that may need to be installed. Well, hold on. I'm going to cancel this here. This is not what I want. Either way, what you want to do first is go to the shared drive. Go to the shared drive, wherever it is. Find that software. So go inside of it. So for example, let's say it's in here, and this is not a shared drive, this is just a local drive, but it doesn't matter. But let's say the software is on a shared drive somewhere, you have access to it. It could be anywhere. So let's say this is the software that he needs, and it's here, right? And it's here. You can install directly. You can run it, right click it, run it as admin and install it. Run it as admin or as a different user to install it. Like this, run as a different user, which will allow you to put in your admin privileges. By the way, this is a good tip. If you right click something and it doesn't give you run as admin, you can hold shift on your keyboard, right click, and then run as a different user, which will give you an option to put your administrative privileges. Anyways, back to this. So here it is on a shared drive. I personally do not like to install things from a shared drive because it can be slow and it could take forever to decompress or uncompress, if you will, decompress any files that are in here, and then try to copy them over and then try to install them. So best thing to do, and way faster, more secure, in the sense there's less chance of not installing properly. You might want to copy it directly to users, and let's say this is Mike's documents. You can just paste it in here, and then wait for it to copy over. And you'll get that thing, and it's going to be slow because it's probably going to be slow. I haven't seen a shared drive that's fast, because we got thousands of people, trying to access same shared drive. It's going to be slow. Chances are really high. It doesn't matter. That's the point. What I'm making is you want to make a copy, local copy. In this case, the best place to do it is in their documents, in my opinion. But you can put in a root of C if you want. Doesn't really matter. But once you copy it over, then you can install it without worrying too much. So you'd right click it, and this is already installed, so it's telling me, and it already has administrator privileges added to it. But anyways, we're going to pretend we're going to right click, shift right click, run as different user. Again, you do this if you don't see run as admin. And now you see how it's letting me put in my admin privileges. So I'm just going to, if you have your admin login, you type in whatever your login is, admin login, right? And then type in your password, whatever that is. And then click OK, and then you install it. There you go. That's how I would go about this one. So I'm going to add internal note and say installed requested software. Save, and I'm going to close the ticket. All right.